This is your host, Job Moraga from Marang Spiritual Ministries. Brothers and sisters, today I want to complete the part 2 of my calling. Last week we posted a video where we spoke about part of the calling, and I think the idea was to encourage you, brothers and sisters, not to give up on God, but to wait on God and to stick to your convictions. So today, brothers and sisters, I want to tell you a story. I'll call it a story because, in all honesty, my joy as I was confirmed or ordained in the office of the exhorter was short-lived. It was short-lived in the sense that in the ways of the great Nelson Mandela, you'll remember Nelson Mandela spoke about hills. He said, when you summit a great hill and you think that you have arrived, you are only confusing yourself because there'll be the next hill to summit. But what I'm going to tell you today, brothers and sisters, I wish Mr. Mandela was alive, because I would say to him, Mr. Mandela, I have now ran out of hills. I am now going to summit Mount Zion itself. I am only looking for mountains, because clearly, brothers and sisters, there's a difference between a hill and a mountain. A mountain is much bigger. So I would say to him, I will soar like an eagle, but I will summit only mountains and no more hills. So what am I talking about, brothers and sisters? A few days after I recorded the video that I thought would be part 2, the video is still on YouTube. I haven't publicized it. It was based on literally the extension of what I had discussed in the previous video. A few days after that, I realized that something had moved in the realm of the spirit. What happened, brothers and sisters, is that I fell under this tremendous attack. I could sense and feel that I'm being attacked, especially between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. I wasn't sure at what time would these spirits attack. On 3 occasions, I think they came at around 10 p.m. 10 p.m. is just before my prayer. So I was attacked. I would feel that somebody's choking me. I would feel that I struggle to breathe. And immediately I will go into prayer and pray. I didn't know, brothers and sisters, that the kingdom of darkness was trying to stop me again. Remember, they couldn't do anything about the ordination into the office of an exhorter. Now, I also didn't know that the Lord is accelerating me. Immediately after being ordained into the office of the exhorter, He started a new season with me. Now, I found myself, brothers and sisters, behaving like Elijah. You remember that at some stage, Elijah ran. He ran into the bushes because he was scared of Jezebel. I did not run into the bushes like Elijah did, because for me, as I was celebrating the one achievement, immediately I was plunged into this, I don't want to call it catastrophe, but it was very hard. And I'm glad that the people that I care about were far from me, because I didn't want any collateral damage like it happened before with my little one in the past. But it was very intense. The attacks were very intense. And I believe that it's part of growing up in the realm of the spirit. They want to take you down because you pose such a serious threat to them. So what happened, brothers and sisters? During my time of isolation like Elijah, I got provisions, first of all. I got provisions. The Lord sent people to me. They didn't know that I'm in isolation. Several CEOs, they would call and say, can you do this for me? I never left my house. So the provisions just came to me like the Lord was feeding Elijah through the ravens. And brothers and sisters, let me tell you what I saw, because this will help you understand how God works. When I thought that I've arrived, finally I've got an office, he had other plans for me. I started seeing myself spending some time in places where I would normally not go. The first place that I spent some time at was Lituli House. I spent some time at Lituli House. I had, of course, I'm talking about in the realm of the spirit, brothers and sisters, and the gift that I carry. I can sit with you spirit to spirit. You tell me things deep down, buried into your soul. You tell me things, and I understand then what to do with what you have told me. Brothers and sisters, according to me and according to the Bible, there are only three kinds of dreams and visions. The first one, obviously, is a warning dream, where the Lord is warning you or is warning someone through you. The second one is a dream where the Lord is giving you direction. This is where you're going. And the third one is the prophetic dreams, prophetic visions, which I get a lot of. So I spent some time at Lituli House, and there was this senior politician that I spent time with. And I then spent some time with one of the premiers. Then I spent some time with the deputy president of the ANC. In the realm of the spirit, of course, brothers and sisters, what were we discussing? We were discussing spiritual deception. That is what we were discussing. The three politicians that I spent time with, all that we were discussing were issues around spiritual deception. And when I speak about spiritual deception, brothers and sisters, I'm not really talking about corruption and all of that. I'm talking about where political parties, this is what the Lord is saying, where political parties during the election time, they come to us, they tell us that this is what they will do for us, and come election time, they are elected and they do the opposite, or they really don't care about the promises that they've given us. So we were talking about spiritual deception. Then I spent some time, but there's more, obviously, brothers and sisters. There is more to that story. Then the Lord took me to hospitals. I spent some time there at the hospital. I would see these strange women that I do not know, like white women, sitting there or lying on their back on this bed. I don't know what you call this bed. Let's say lying on their back on the hospital bed. And they were oblivious to the fact that I was there. I was sitting close to them. And I saw myself, brothers and sisters, doing something as she was lying there, this particular white woman. I saw myself rubbing my neck and my shoulders as if I was massaging my neck and my shoulders. And I saw that this woman was getting healed. And also, I believe that it had something to do with conception. I believe that the woman desperately needed a child. And as we were doing that in the realm of the spirit, I saw a seed being deposited from the heavenlies. I saw a seed being directed to her. So when we were at the hospital, I was in the spirit, meaning it was a vision. And then immediately when I woke up, now I saw, like plain sight now, like I'm looking at you, I saw a seed being deposited into her. So I spent some time at the hospital. And then the Lord took me to the library. I went to this library. It was a huge library. And I found a guy that I think or that I believe that I know. And I said to him, "Can I sit with you?" He said, "Okay." And immediately I organized myself a desk or a table. Then I took some other small table that he had. I extended the table. And I think the idea was that I was going to bring quite a lot of books to read. Here's the thing, brothers and sisters. At the space where we were, it was only me and this particular gentleman. And then I disappeared looking for whatever books, and I couldn't. In estimation, brothers and sisters, I would say in the real world, in the natural world, I must have disappeared into those book rows for approximately 3 hours looking, and I couldn't find the book that I was looking for. And ultimately, I found the book, and I walked back to the gentleman whom I now know that was an angelic being. I walked back to the gentleman and I said, I found this book. And he looked at the book, but the title was incomplete. It was spiritual and the title was incomplete. So I knew that what the Lord was saying to me is that you need to write that book. You need to complete the title. And I haven't decided whether the title is going to be Spiritual Deceptions or the title is going to be something else, Spiritual Resilience or whatever it is. That is the book that I've been commanded to write. And then as we sat on those tables, this angelic being was very upset with me because as I left to look for this book, there were other people whom I would consider perhaps demonic spirits. They took over the space where we were seated, and we were then standing discussing, but he was very excited that I found this book. And like I said, the only way that I was given was spiritual. I guess through prayer, the Lord will reveal more as to what is the full title, or I have to complete the title myself. And then I found myself, again, brothers and sisters, you know what tables mean. Tables means the place where covenants are being made or where agreements, contracts are being signed. And during this time also, the Lord accelerated the gift of interpreting dreams. And again, I'll keep on saying to you, brothers and sisters, you cannot interpret a dream comprehensively based on just one dream or one vision that you see. It's a combination of things. The Lord has been talking to you about something, maybe you're not paying attention, warning you or directing you or channeling you to this way and that way. Or in cases where you've got a gift of prophecy, He has been giving you prophetic dreams as well about the things to come. So I then found myself in another strange place. I found myself in a surgery, a doctor's surgery. Brothers and sisters, let me share a story quickly. In January this year, I was feeling lethargic and I went to see a doctor and they did some blood tests. And then when they came back, they said my blood sugar content was very high, cholesterol. And then he said, I have type 2 sugar diabetes. That is what the doctor said. And then I found a wrong doctor on that day, or the right doctor, whichever way you want to look at. The usual physician, the doctor that I go to, he would have been gentle in giving me feedback to say, Job, you must do this and that. So I found this doctor who was brutal. He said, listen, you saw the guy that I just gave an injection to. He said, if you don't work on this thing, this is how you'll end up. This disease will progress to stage 2. Stage 1, I think he said. And he then started saying a lot of negative things that it's going to be hard for me to lose weight. And he said a lot of negative things. But as I was listening to this particular doctor, in my mind, I thought he's not talking to me. And of course, brothers and sisters, when I left that surgery, that is what was in my mind. I said, I am going to beat whatever it is, type 2 or whatever it is. I really don't care. It's not me, not under my watch. And when I left, I had a problem at home with the helper, because you would say to the helper, this is how I should eat. And she wouldn't listen. She would cook the same things that worsen my condition and all of that, until I decided to take matters into my own hands. And I said, it has to be about me now. And I went to a supermarket, the normal chains that you know, and I looked around, and 95% of what I saw in the food section are things that I don't need. I will only focus on 5% of what I saw there. And that's what I did, brothers and sisters. Just a 2-meal plan a day, morning and evening. So I met this wise lady who encouraged me to drink lots of water. Every time I spoke to her, she was encouraging me to drink lots of water, almost like snaking with water between meals. So I decided to do that, brothers and sisters. But to cut the long story short, in less than 4 months, I lost 17 kgs and my pen size dropped considerably, up to a point where I said, this is getting too ridiculous. I don't want to be smaller than some of the young men that I see, because they would mistake me for, I don't know, their friends or anything like that. But you imagine what I went through. I just wanted to keep some dignity there, brothers and sisters. So then the Lord took me back to this particular doctor in the realm of the spirit, in his surgery. And he didn't want to certify that I was healed. And again, this is another form of spiritual deception, where people keep us on pills consistently. The pharmaceutical giants, they keep us on these pills. Look, I don't have a problem with the doctor, the one who said I wouldn't make it. I could sense at that time, brothers and sisters, that it's either I had to hear what he had to say, or it is Satan condemning me to say that, what is this prayer of yours going to do? But indeed, brothers and sisters, with a prayer, with a simple, predictable, inexpensive meal twice a day, with lots of water, and with an army exercise. When I say an army exercise, I literally mean walking chest out, stomach in. All of that, I managed to drop all those pounds, and I've never been healthier. What am I saying, brothers and sisters? What I'm saying is that as you summit the hill, the Lord forces you to climb other hills. As I said, my intention is now mountains. He forces you to climb mountains. And what he was showing me as I wrap up, he was saying to me that you are now competent to intercede in government circles. There was a lady who wrote a book, and he spoke about the 7 mountains of influence. So in government and politics, I'm giving you power and authority to intercede. The Lord was saying, I will bring you things about governments, about politics, and you can intercede whichever way that I would have been shown. So brothers and sisters, I'm different. I work from top bottom, or we use the top bottom approach, because the Sangomas and other people, they use the bottom top approach. So for me, I get told I cannot decide on my own. If you come to me and say, oh, prophesy or do this, I won't be able to, brothers and sisters. I only deal with the information that I've been given, the people that I've been shown, the circumstances that I've been shown. That is what the Lord was showing me, to say that I'm going to use you mightily in government political space as an intercessor. Secondly, he was showing me that he's going to use me as well in the health sector. Doctors, hospitals, is going to use me there. I do have a gift of healings, or they call them gift of healings. I do have that, brothers and sisters, but there will be gifts that operate inside of you, and then some would be mightier than the others. But the Lord has confirmed that I should intercede more in the health sector. And thirdly, advocacy. The Lord showed me that I should advocate for others. When I spoke to this particular doctor who refused to certify me but certified 2 other patients, you can see that what the Lord was teaching me is that there is a problem in that area where people are struggling and no one is speaking on their behalf. So that is the area, or the mountain of advocacy, as I saw it. And then, of course, the mountain of education. When the Lord took me to the library, he was saying that I am not present here. I'm non-existent in these libraries. There are other things about this world, but spiritually or spirituality is not there. So the mountain of education also, that is what the Lord showed me. And brothers and sisters, of course, the acceleration in terms of teaching me how to interpret prophetic dreams. And here I am. The isolation is over. I went to a place called Wheatbank, and I want to give Wheatbank a special message. So I am going to record a video about Wheatbank, and that will be the next video. I want you, brothers and sisters, to understand how God works. But as for me, and as for Elijah, the assignment is complete now. No more hills for me. It's mountain. And I'm coming from Mount Zion itself, soaring like an eagle, because the kingdom of darkness failed to stop me. When they attacked, I didn't even have an idea of why I was being attacked. I thought perhaps I've been naughty again, I've crossed the line. Brothers and sisters, in the realm of the spirit, there are rules. You don't just go there and say, Satan, I bind you. There are rules. So I've been violating those rules in the past. That is why I was consistently attacked. But I knew in this instance that I've done nothing wrong. The last time I was in Centurion, where I prayed for people, and I haven't done anything wrong. But again, based on Centurion, let me wrap up by saying that the Lord took me to the toilet as well. You know what happens in the toilet, how filthy the toilets are. He took me to this particular toilet, and then he showed me how filthy the toilet was. And then he said, when you were in Centurion, you prayed for this particular gentleman. And this is really about divination. He said, you prayed for this particular gentleman. Look at how I've cleansed him. So yes, divination is another mountain. I wouldn't say church, because of all the places, ever since I started encountering the Lord, He has never taken me to the church, inside the church. He has always shown me a church from far. Look at what they are doing. Look at this old church building. He even took me, I think, to the UK, and I was looking for the house of John Wesley, and I saw the house somewhere in England, but he took me there. I saw the house, and there was a voice that said, this is where John Wesley used to live. So brothers and sisters, all that I'm saying, I'm encouraging you, when you summit a hill, the Lord will take you to the next hill. Like President Mandela said, He will take you to the next hill. But I believe that I have ran out of hills now. Like he said, I must now start soaring like an eagle. So will you. Brothers and sisters, thank you very much for being there, for praying for us as we go through some hard times. With the spirits on our case are taking us, because they can see the light that we carry as intercessors, as watchmen. I will always appreciate your prayers. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.